So good morning, everybody. Good to see you all. So I hope you had a wonderful week this past week. And as I just wait for my slides to come up. Well, there it is. So as you have already seen, we were able to welcome our beautiful brothers, five of them, actually six of them, five first years of NGM. They're called the junior class, and our captain. And Jan, he didn't mention it in his introduction. He said that he's here as an HTG, but what that really means is that he's the second class of the Sun Moon UPA and Sun Moon University UPA course. And so he has been watched over and trained through True Mother's curriculum and just making sure things are going well in terms of his leadership training. So he has a lot of opportunities to be with our True Mother. And so this is the kind of people, and our brothers, the five junior class members, are from all over the United States, all gathered here in Ohio. So we're really fortunate because I heard the last time we had missionaries was actually nobody really was able to put a date because it never happened, or it was like long time ago and missionaries weren't really sent here in our community. So it's a really big blessing to have welcomed these six brothers. And then with Bohan, whom we were introduced earlier a few weeks ago, we have seven brothers here. So thank you so much for coming, responding to Heaven's call. And I also want to emphasize that we have seven brothers living in my house now. So my wife is growing her heart. But I've been in that. I've done GPA in the past too, so I know all about that missionary life with a bunch of other people. And yeah, I'm totally comfortable. But they're so nice and sweet to my daughter, so they get the pass. It's all good. So also, I just wanted to note that, these missionaries, whether it be Bohan or the Next Gen Mission Group, they're all always here to serve. And so as you saw, Galvin and Senki were part of the band today. And in the back, finally, Nathan has a little bit of support with Sean supporting the sound booth, the tech over there. And I don't know if you noticed, if you entered through this rear door or rear entrance, there was a gray shelf constructed, and that was thanks to the help of Uncle Wayne and also the NGM brothers. So they're already on it, and they're already serving in the ways that they can, and we hope to be able to have them serve as much as possible in their time that they're here, because that's their mission, to deepen their life of faith, their relationship with Heavenly Parent and true parents by serving the world. And so, going into my message today, can anyone tell me what tomorrow is? Yes, Memorial Day. For me, Memorial Day was a big deal because it meant I had a 3-day weekend from school. Growing up in grade school and then even in college, like we didn't have classes on Memorial Day. But once I graduated, well, Memorial Day is observed as a national holiday, so technically you're not supposed to work. You have a day off. But when you're in ministry, there really is no day off. And so then it kind of just slipped past through me and just like, oh, snap. This weekend is Memorial Day weekend. I don't have any barbecue prepared or planned, but what I can plan is just being able to honor those who have passed on. The original purpose and intent of Memorial Day is to really honor our veterans who, in the line of duty, have passed away, or even who have served and finished their term, but may have passed away because of old age or whatnot. And so, but because we're honoring those who have passed, and at least in the realm of the military, we also want to kind of make it our own and honor those who have passed within our own communities as well. And of course, we have our true father who had passed away, and without him and true mother, without true parents, we are not able to be here today. I would not be born today. And so when we're talking about a little bit about death or just passing into the next world, I want to remind everybody of just this point. So we have three lives that we live, whether you recognize or not. But the first life is within the womb of our mother's womb, where we spend around 40 weeks, and it's a world of water, where within um, the it's called the amniotic fluid, yeah, and that's like everything that there is. But even within the womb, our lives are being prepared for the next stage of our life, where we breathe air. And how is that being prepared? Well, of course, our cells are multiplying and our bodies are growing, and we're also receiving the nutrients from our mother through the umbilical cord. But also, as our cells multiply, it's not just our the skin and the outer layers, but even our internal organs and especially the lungs. So important for it to be able to grow well and function so that we as humans, when we're born into this world, we can live by breathing air. And so then now in this second stage of life, this air that we breathe, roughly, well, I mean, it's a hope, but you would hope to be able to live up to 100 years. And we, in this world, we're also preparing ourselves, just like how we were preparing in the womb, to prepare for the next stage of our life, which is in the spirit world, this eternal life that we live as spirit, which we breathe love. So that means the life that we live here on earth needs to be centered on love, on true love, the love that our Heavenly Parent bears for us, and the love that Heavenly Parent wishes for us to be able to share with one another and expand as Heavenly Parent's representative. And then finally, when we die in this world, it is actually just like birth, or what we call birth into this world. It is a rebirth into the spirit world, where however much you were able to exercise and practice living a life of love on earth, then the more comfortable and free you can be living in the spirit world. And so this is honestly a revelation. It's a revelatory concept that our true parents have brought to this world and taught us about this. And it really gives a strong sense of purpose on our lives that we are living here. Last week I spoke about how the kingdom of heaven can be established between the loving relationship of husband and wife. And then through the family, it would expand into the family realm and then into the society and so forth. And so really, if we aren't able to harness, well, first, receive the love from our Heavenly Parent or our parental figures, and then be able to grow in that love and mature ourselves so that we can be able to share the love to other brothers and sisters, then it's going to be really difficult living in the spirit world. A lot of people think, and especially throughout human history, people have believed God to be a God of judgment, in whom God would judge whether you go to heaven or hell. But we understand from our true parents' teachings that actually it's not God who decides where to go to heaven or hell, but it's actually ourselves. Because there's nothing you can hide in the spiritual realm. And so any sin or any mistakes that you've caused in this world, and you're still bounded by and holding on to it, then you would naturally start to feel ashamed. And that's where you want to hide yourself, even in the spirit world, which then, if you're separating yourself from your family members as an individual trying to hide, then of course it'll feel like hell in heaven or hell in the spirit world, because you're not with your family. And so just kind of emphasizing, the importance of how we live our lives on this earth with love. It doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be easy, but when we're able to go beyond that challenge and really put ourselves in a point where we can love one another, then that will set us up for being able to live a successful life a happier life, freer life in the spirit world. And so I want to, sorry. Just this is a book, you know, Chansangyang. It's one of the three holy scriptures of our Chanoguk, in which our true mother established. And the Chansangyang specifically is the anthology of all of true parents' words. And so I want to read a quote or a passage from the Chansangyang today. And so this is now that since I'm talking about the topic of spirit world, I want to be able to dive into what we as blessed families have this incredible blessing that we've received as blessed families. And maybe for those born out of blessed families or born out of the blessing that we have in relationship to the spirit world. So, Father says, when you receive the blessing, the way to the kingdom of heaven opens up before you. But even among blessed families, there are people who have carried out fallen acts. So paradise and hell arise in the blessed family spirit world. These realms are within the realm of God's dominion. Just as good angels helped God in his work, since the entire spirit world is supposed to receive the blessing, these blessed spirits in the position of ancestors assisted those on earth. Henceforth, when the descendants of such ancestors are born on the earth, the ancestors are supposed to guide them to receive the blessing and protect their children of direct lineage. By doing this, along with their descendants, they can cross over to a new world that has nothing to do with Satan. This is from the Chansangyang, Book 7, Chapter 3, Section 4. And these words were spoken by our true father back in 2001. And I'd like to delve into a bit more specifically. So just the fact that you receive the blessing, Father says the way to the kingdom of heaven opens up before you. I think that, flows well or makes sense with the topic I spoke last week. Through the blessing, when you're able to receive a spouse from Heavenly Parent, then you can be able to exercise this conjugal realm of love, loving each other as husband and wife, which is the starting point for the kingdom of heaven. But Father also acknowledges that even among blessed families, there are people who have carried out fallen acts. So paradise and hell arise in the blessed family spirit world. Just because we receive the blessing, it didn't change our internal character to become a perfect person in the way that Jesus and true parents are perfect. We still have flaws. I can still trip over the sidewalk. I can fail tests. But, that's not necessarily the perfection that Heavenly Parent is looking for. It's really the heart. But we have not reached that standard yet. And so then Father says that even within this blessed family spirit world, there is heaven and hell. Now, I don't know if you remember, our former Continental Director before President Dunkley was Dr. Yong. And I remember one of his morning devotions, he was saying that there's different levels even within the spirit world. And just the fact that you receive the blessing, even though it may be a hellish world or hellish place because you weren't able to live this physical life with love, it's still a grade above what Christians understand as paradise, just because you receive the blessing. So from this point, I just want to kind of emphasize the blessedness and the amazing importance of what it means to receive the blessing or be born out of the blessing. Because just because we're able to receive the blessing from our true parents, we have incredible grace that sets us up well in the eternal world. But still, when we make mistakes, we will be judging ourselves when we go to the spirit world. And so I hope that everybody is able to take it with heart and seriousness. The last time such a worldwide special grace ceremony was held, Holy Wine ceremony was held, was last year. True Mother offered her condition, and was able to make it available worldwide right before the entrance ceremony of the Cheonwongung. And of course, I hope when you were able to receive that holy wine then, you were able to write your confession, you were able to finish your reflection, and really be feel like you were able to cleanse yourself by receiving God's grace. And so from that point on, all of your sins were forgiven. But a question is, were you able to forgive yourself, even though heaven forgave you? And from that point on, it's been a year and a month now since the opening of the Cheonwongung. Are you able to not sin at all? Chances are we probably made a mistake. Even Jesus said, or I think it was True Parents, like even if you hate someone in your mind, then that's already a sin. And so by that standard, I think it's pretty challenging. But we can always work on that, and we can always restore it. However, because of the blessing, Father still says that whether you are in whatever area you may be, heaven or hell, within the blessed family spirit world, that is still within the realm of God's direct dominion. God is still right there with you. And so there is hope. Just as good angels help God in his work, since the entire spirit world is supposed to receive the blessing, these blessed spirits in the position of ancestors assist those on earth. This is actually the main point I want to share about today is these underlines, these blessed spirits. We have a term that maybe you are familiar with, which is the absolute good spirits, especially as you've been able to work on your 430 blessings or 43 families of being able to bring them and into our family, God's family. Then you are known as a Chumbo couple, right? And as part of becoming a Chumbo couple, there's also the liberation of 430 generations of your ancestry, of your ancestry and your spouse's ancestry. And those in the spirit world who have received the blessing are those blessed spirits, known as absolute good spirits. And Father says that they are in the position of ancestors who are to assist those on earth, us, our children, and our future descendants. They were born the ancestors are supposed to guide them to receive the blessing and protect their children of direct lineage. By doing this, along with their descendants, they can cross over to a new world that has nothing to do with Satan. So it's not that they just want to help us because they love us and that we are their descendants, but even for their own sake too, that they, together with their descendants, can cross over to this new world, basically cleansing this world, being able to fill this world more with true love that our true parents have shown and taught us. And so I want to really emphasize that how important it is that we, as disciples of true parents, can't forget this fact. Cannot forget that though we may be busy here on this earthly life, the spirit world is right here with us. The spirit world, I think Father said once, like, when you're reading Hundake, read it out loud. Because there's 10,000 spirits right by with you, like listening to you, reading true parents' words. And so we can also think that whatever we're doing in our lives, there's chances are 10,000 or more spirits are right by us. And not all spirits are positive, happy spirits. Some spirits are resentful and that needs to be healed, or that needs to be receiving love, maybe through you, and the way that you are loving another person, they're able to receive that love. However the Spirit may be working, we must not forget that we are living at a time where the spirit world and the physical world are ever so closely connected. Especially when True Mother proclaimed the entrance of the Cheonwongun Channel Sanctum last year, She literally made a home for God, our Heavenly Parent. Where our Heavenly Parent, as what we or human history has known as the ultimate spiritual being, this ultimate power, can reside on earth and have a place on earth dedicated for Heavenly Parent, so that Heavenly Parent may be able to go all over the world. And so here's another point from our Father. So we have to mobilize the spirit world. How can heaven be built without mobilizing the spirit world? It cannot. Heaven is supposed to begin from the true parents, not from the fallen descendants who have existed until now. Just as the angelic world helped when Adam was created, the spirit world should come down to earth and help at the time of recreation. Otherwise, it cannot be achieved. So without the blessing from our true parents, without the spiritual significance of engrafting our lineage from what was under Satan's bondage to Heavenly Parents' bondage through the blessing, there was no chance for Heavenly Parent to be able to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. Which is why true parents, being the first blessing that they were able to claim as the holy wedding, has been a revelation or an answer to the revelation in the Bible, but as well as an answer to God's dream that God had hoped for over 6,000 biblical human years. This dream that God wanted to create and establish one family here on this earth was finally realized through the holy marriage blessing of our true parents. And their mission has been to share the blessing to all over the world, so that more and more people, their brothers and sisters, can be connected to Heavenly Parents' lineage. And then we have to be the ones to take advantage of this blessing that we receive to mobilize spirit world, whether it be through prayer or just talking or maybe in a dream. I have heard, I originally came from the New Jersey Family Church community, which is the largest unificationist community within the Western Hemisphere. And being that it's so large, a lot of people think like, oh, there's so many people, there's so many resources, there's so much activities that can happen, it's lively, exciting, yada, yada, yada. But also the same thing is that with so many people and with so many elders, on average, there's like 2 or 3 Seonghwa ceremonies every year. Seonghwa ceremony is our funeral ceremonies of after a member passes on to the spirit world. And being part of the staff, I would be attending each and every one of them to help out with the Seonghwa ceremony, and help out the families. And we because of our understanding of what death really is really being reborn into this eternal world, the ceremony itself is really beautiful. And the families who are left behind, they have moments that they need to grieve and work out through their emotions. But at the end of it all, they're so grateful because of just how beautifully conducted the ceremony is, as well as just the ideas and the teachings of death. But and so these families, sometimes I would talk to them on and off, just at random times, and I would hear sometimes testimonies of a widow saying that her late husband appeared in her dream, and at this time she was working on her 430 tribal messiahship, giving out the blessing. And so at this time, the husband appeared to her in a dream and gave her an address. And he said, go to this address. No context. Just go to this address. And then she was like, oh, okay. I'll try going. And then she went to this random stranger's address, knocked on the door, and a man came out. And he was like, oh, hi. What are you doing here? I don't know you. What's your name? And then she was just like, in her broken Jenglish, Japanese English, she was just explaining to her who she is, that she's part of the Unification Church and she wants to share the blessing and what the blessing is. And after about like 2 weeks of being able to go talk back and forth, uh, him and his wife received the blessing. And this address was from a different town that she was living in. And so she was trying to go around within her neighborhood and to try to fulfill this blessing. But so she would have never gone on her own volition to the next town over. But her husband appeared to her in a dream and shared this address so that she was able to make that condition and offer the blessing right there at their backyard. And so, we hear stories, or maybe some of you may, as widows or widowers, may also experience yourself just how close your spouse may be, or how close the ones who have passed on to the spirit world may be, and that we cannot just kind of dismiss that fact. We need to be able to really take ownership of our lives as blessed central families and exercise a part of that blessing that we receive from our true parents, which is to be able to mobilize, ask the spirit world to help us. Even our ancestors, I come from, my parents are both Japanese. They left, their hometowns are in Japan. And being born and raised in the US and not having the financial ability to always go back to Japan and visit my relatives, I don't even know my cousins' names. I have met my grandmothers, but I have never met my grandfathers. They both passed away before I was able to meet them. And then I've never even seen a picture of my great-grandparents. I don't even know what they look like. I don't even know their name. And so I'm like really, from a physical standpoint, so disconnected from my extended family, immediate extended family. But still, knowing that at least my grandparents and my great-grandparents and all the 430 generations before my parents, because they also were able to make that offering of blessing and liberating 430 generations, on faith, I can at least count on them and be like, Grandpa, Grandma, I don't know who you are, where you are, but I need this right now to be able to help in my mission. And so please help me. Please work through the people around me. Please work through me so that I may be able to accomplish and further heaven's will, whether it be for my family or for this community of Ohio Family Church or for the nation of America. Yeah, I think we just need to really tap into the spirit world and tap into the blessings that we've received as blessed central families, as those who were able to receive the teachings of our true parents. And I think Mother, our true mother, is also very keen on this fact, because now she has opened us and given us the Chunshimon prayer hall, in which she says that Father is there, his office is there. But also so many, it's a space, special space in which our true parents have, or true mother has offered devotion that makes it extra special compared to other prayer rooms, like in your home or just being able to walk out in nature and be prayerful. And it's that special space and atmosphere, the clarity between the spirit world and the physical world, you representing the physical world, is what gives this blessing so much life and meaning. That we have been given the tools, we have been given the gifts from our true parents, and we just need to be able to use that gifts. Mother also says that, this is the golden time, the golden era in which our Heavenly Parent is here on this earth and that we are living in. Just like Father mentioning that it is a time of recreation. We are recreating this world. Or at least we are supposed to be. Together with all of our brothers and sisters here and our neighbors, we need to recreate this world because it has been stolen by Heavenly Parent. Creating it into a world where people can connect to Heavenly Parent through, first, of course, the change of blood lineage, through the blessing, but also through such tools like the Chunshimwon, or being able to have a pilgrimage out in the Chonwongun Channel Sanctum out in South Korea. There's so much that our true parents have gifted us. And I wanted to just bring attention to our blessings that we have and that what we can uh, take part in so that we can move the spirit world and we can move our lives, humanity's life, forward into being able to offer this back to our Heavenly Parent. And of course, for those who have spouses already in the spirit world, start with your spouses and just communicating with them and talking to them. And for others like myself who don't have anyone really close who've ascended to the spirit world, but I know some people, whether it be in this community or from my high school who have already ascended, like I can still talk to them. I can be able to request support and help from them. Of course, my own ancestors. And I feel like we can, be able to move forward with our lives and move the hearts of all the spirits to be able to support our work that is very helpful in God's eyes. So that's the main message I wanted to share. And so we have a discussion with the person next to you. Please have a pair share. Think of someone who has passed onto the spirit world. Anyone. And share why you love or admire that person. Bring their life, the memory that you have of them, back to life by being able to share about that person and why you love or admire them with the person next to you. So we'll take 5 minutes. Within your pair, switch the person who's speaking. Uh, Please switch if you haven't shared already. Wrapping up, everybody. Hope you were able to have a wonderful sharing stories or reminiscing about someone you love or admire who's already in the spirit world. Chances are they're seated right next to you, all excited that you're talking about them, bragging about them. Um, would anyone like to share to the whole group someone that you really love and admire who has ascended to the spirit world?
Anybody want to share? It's all voluntary, so I'm not gonna pick and choose. Oh, okay. Let's welcome up Uncle Chris Fox.
Thank you for the opportunity to not go too long, but I was sharing with my young sister here about the person most influential who's passed into the spirit world. I couldn't think of anybody else except True Father. And that's the reason in our sharing I said, for 25 years I stumbled and made a lot of mistakes and shortcomings, but through the spirit world, my mother in the spirit world introduced me in a dream to True Father. And it was an impactful moment. I've never had dreams like that. So I believed in it because she was the person that I trusted most in those years of my life. And I was seriously looking for a new start because I'd made too many mistakes. Is it possible? God help me. Then, through the dream, I met True Father. I never knew an Asian man in my life, and there he was. And she took my arm and put my hand in his hand. And then I realized, okay, this is real. This is another dimension I've never, ever known. And that's what caused my rebirth. And then going forward, shaking off all the old and trying to put on new lambskin. So, thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Chris. Now, I do wonder how many of you also were talking about True Father, because he affected all of our lives. But if there's another different person that you'd like to testify about on why you love and admire such a person who went after somebody who already went to the spirit world, is there any other sharing? Oh, Mr. Oyamada, yeah, please come up and welcome him up.
Hello. I have been practicing a Korean song called Komapso. That is a kind of love song between husband and wife. And I'm not still perfecting yet, of course not. But as in the phrase, there's a called all my remaining days and months, I will live for you. So when I sing that part, my center of my right here in chest become very, very like a strong, moving a sensation, like a yeah. But anyway, so like you have like a beautiful, deep, prayer, but that feeling is really different. It's really strong, like a presence. Somebody is in right center of my chest. So I feel when I sung that song, which not so good, I don't want to sing in front of you, but and I feel my wife very, very deeply. So father said once that, husband and wife is not two. You automatically become two person because you automatically fell. But when you perfected, you are one. Your husband live within the wife, you live within your, what did I say? You know what I mean? Yeah, good. And so I really feel that deep feeling. So like at least 3 times a week I'm practicing. That feeling always come to literally my center of my chest. So I love my wife and the respect. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful testimony, Oyamada-san. And when you're able to master that song, please sing it for us. We'd love to see the moment in which you are able to feel. No, no, no. He says you need earplugs, but that defeats the purpose. But thank you for your testimony. And maybe one final person would like to share. Oh, Megumi-san, let's welcome up Mrs. Megumi Lindstrom.
Yeah, hi. I can already feel my husband with me. Actually, yesterday, Sonwa meeting from Japan. One time a month, they have a group, and then we can attend. Sorry, so much love we are receiving. 2 or 3 years and a half ago, my husband passed away. And then anyway, through that meeting, we write letter to spouse. And whatever I feel, I have a question, this and that, freely I can write, right? And then, okay, my husband, you can come to me and you can write to me. And then just not thinking too much, just write, whatever you think, like that. Then write down, start write down. And then first he said, I wish I can show you spiritual world, how beautiful, and husband and wife, because of the blessing of true parents, we don't know value on this earth life, but thank you. In spiritual world, eternal life, that's waiting. And he told me, and I have some questions about the family issue, and he said, don't worry about so much. More detail, but anyway, but we don't know how much we are blessing value. But, and I start to cry. My husband came to me and I write down. I start to cry. It was actually dry. It was before I was so dry, my eyes dry. But suddenly my husband came, I start to cry. And we don't know how much value. So we have to be happy and grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Megumi. Thank you, Megumi-san, for that beautiful testimony. And of course, aside from Uncle Chris, like we heard stories from a widower and a widow, and of course they've lived their life really close with their spouse, and that they're able to have such experiences now. But we, as brothers and sisters, whether it be our beloved grandparents or relatives or a brother or sister that passed away, or even within our community, brother or sister that has passed away, when we're really able to be in that part of, in your heart of sincerity and calling out to them or asking them from their support, I'm sure Heavenly Parent and those people in the spirit world will come right away to continue sharing the love like how they did when they were here on this earth as well, from the spirit world. And so, thank you so much, Uncle Chris, Oyamada-san, and Megumi-san for sharing. And so for this coming week, I'd just like to ask everyone to please make time to offer prayer or ask for support from the spirit world. It can be anything that you are dealing with or that you want to overcome, or just simply enjoying the experience together as you are able to have a joyful moment. And, today, again, it was Memorial Day that prompted me to want to speak about this topic. But I hope as blessed families that we can always remember this fact, and whatever day of the week or whatever time of the year, that we can always remember this fact of this blessing that we have, and that we can connect with the spirit world in heart. So that concludes today's message. Thank you so much. And remember that Heavenly Parent loves you. True parents love you. Jesus loves you, and I love you all. God bless.
Thank you, Pastor Yasu, for your wonderful testimony and sharing, and also for us to be able to remember those we love and miss. We can be able to keep praying for them, keep remembering those who are not here with us, and to be able to keep getting the support from our ancestors. So that'll be on the screen will actually be the QR code for the tithing. It's the new one, so if you want to be able to donate so we can be able to keep having these wonderful services, new products, lunch, food, different wonderful activities, please be able to donate if you can. There's also black boxes around. You can also be able to offer that too. And with that, I'd like to be able to welcome the band, so let's rise and sing along.
We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit.